All right, welcome in traders. So I want to talk some charts today, in particular, this Tesla chart. So I went ahead and drew this trend line right here for a couple reasons because it looks like we had this gap close, and we have a potential for it to close. Now, I will say right now, I mean, a potential for it to bounce up from here. I will say though that it's still very vulnerable considering it is currently under the POC. So it's not going to be out of the danger zone until it's above 342, 343. I would even put it as high as 349, 350 is really that price point we really want to sit above. All right, so let me explain the rest that's on the chart right here. So you have these two parallel yellow lines, and if you guys can see right here, when we first broke out, came down, retested it right there, was the launch pad for the all-time high or for the continuation, right? And then when we got batted down, it came down and found support at that level, not once, but twice, three times, really more than that. But this candle right here, I feel like this drop really cleared out the way, ate up that support. And although we did bounce, I think at that point it reestablished resistance right here. So we have a few levels, and as you guys can see, it's marked as a strong high. Now we were bouncing up and it's starting to struggle again, so that's not a good sign. I would say that anytime it's under 350, like I said, is very vulnerable. And dropping under here, 318, 317, really can open the door for something a lot more nasty. I don't think anybody wants to see that. Now, I do have. Now we did hear some optimistic news out of China. They are releasing their quote unquote full self driving, but it really isn't because it's driver assisted. So I think that's what deflated the market early on because pre-market we were running up pretty nicely, and then I think it was clarified, and the rest is history. Markets are pretty toppy as it is anyway. But here, so let's say, so what I'm looking for is a potential C wave correction, and I just find it interesting that it would line up with not only the trend line roughly, right? A, B, C. And let me use this one. So it would not only line up with the trend line, but it would also line up with this zone that we identified as a heavily traded zone. So it was support, and as we know, support becomes resistance when it's broken. So until we reclaim that, then it's even on a bounce, it's still going to remain under pressure, right? So short term, we need to get above here. It's monumental. But even getting above that is not going to be enough. If anything, we want to see a little build up right here in this zone before the run up, and then because there's going to likely be a pushback here, so we're going to need at least some short term resistance to really hold the line right here, to at least try to close that. So I will say that my most optimistic price point right here at 400 for the near term could theoretically hit on Friday. I think we do have PCE this Friday, so if there's going to be volatility or high volume trading, it would probably be towards the end of the week. So it lines up, right? But again, this is my most optimistic near term trade because we can run up going into the PCE numbers and then they come in hot, and we already know how that can go. And it would just so happen to line up with something like this, right? So this will be dangerous, like always. We get high volatility news, probably run up overnight, and then the next day we open down here because if PCE comes in high, we will fall pretty hard, especially if it does complete the C wave and we run into resistance right here. Now, in the event that PCE does surprise to the downside, meaning that it's favorable for the markets, then at that point, I think it's very possible that we make a quick run to 400, which would be a pretty nice run. But just keep in mind, this whole zone is heavy. It feels like it's heavy, right? So that's my take. And like I said, my going further out, if this does turn bullish and this local low holds and we do break out, even though I don't think it would be a clean breakout just straight up, but we could probably stay here for a little while. The earliest would be NFP, maybe, or sometime around the Fed rate decision. And not because I expect a rate cut, but more so because I would expect the Fed to give us guidance. Now they are going to be talking a lot this week, and let me see if I can pull something out. I have this on my. Let me pull this out real quick. I'm gonna take a picture of it. So this is the schedule right here for the upcoming week. So starting tomorrow, yes, we have Barr is a voting member, and then on Thursday we have Schmid. He's a voting member, a hawk. So be ready for that. Bowman is a hawk as well, and we can see what they'll be talking about. So I think this is a very nice little chart to keep to screenshot or do something with. You know, Goolsby in a Q&A, those are doves. But yeah, that's good. So it's going to be an interesting next this week really starts tomorrow, I think. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys bullish or bearish? I want to get a feel for what you guys are thinking right now, and do you guys agree or disagree? You know, I'm always open for conversation. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I don't know. You know, so let me know what you guys think.